All right, come here and sit down. Here, sit down. I understand. Sit down. What happened?
I woke up and he was like
Okay,
that.
hang on. No, answer.
So when did you find him?
This morning.
Like when?
It's right before he called.
Okay.
Yes.
So just wanted to make sure. So you guys went to sleep.
Down.
So you guys went to sleep. He was with you, and whenever you woke up,
Yes.
that's whenever you found that he wasn't responsive.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He hasn't had any other medical.
No.
He was placed on his back in the bassinet at approximately 11 p.m. The decedent was found unresponsive at 7:40, 2 a.m. That is the official report. That is the document. That is the fiction that collapsed the moment the medical examiner opened the file. Now picture a scale. On one side, there is a certificate of live birth. On the other side, there is a certificate of death. Between those two pieces of paper sit 13 days. That is the entire lifespan of the child in this case. The visual anchor for what you are about to hear is not a body camera clip. It is a clock with no hands, because time did not matter in that house until it ran out completely. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Police Bodycam Legal Analysis. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. The dispatch log says, Hunfent not breathing. The address is a rental property in the Midwest. The mother is standing in the doorway, swaying slightly, her pupils dilated. The father appears from the back of the house nearly 2 minutes after law enforcement enters. That delay is not noted in the initial report, but it is the first crack in the narrative. When a child is dying, 2 minutes is an eternity, so why did he wait?
Are you on any drugs? Honestly, because you're going to be tested. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be tested. Okay, so be honest. Okay, what are you on? What are you on? Okay, when was the last time? Were you doing it while you were
The
pregnant?
deputy asks the mother if she used drugs during the pregnancy. She says yes, meth.
Just wanted to make sure. So you guys went to sleep.
Down.
So you guys went to sleep. He was with you, and whenever you woke up,
Yes.
that's whenever you found that he wasn't responsive.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He hasn't had any other medical
No.
issues as far as you know. Before today, he's been healthy.
Yes, sir.
But this isn't entirely accurate, and the truth is deeply unsettling. In the living room, paramedics continue to perform life-saving measures.
She says it the way someone admits to drinking too much coffee. The deputy asks if the baby tested positive at birth.
Are you doing it while you're pregnant with the baby? Yeah? Okay. Okay, hang tight for me. Let me pass that information to them so they have an idea on that, okay? That'll help. That's something they need to know. She was doing meth while she was pregnant with him. Of course, meth now. So he is a meth baby.
But this is just one of many horrifying revelations to come. Backup is called to the scene, and the deputies head inside to clear the house, leaving Timothy seemingly on edge.
Why are they doing that?
She nods. That is the first turning point. That is where the legal term as neglect stops being a word on a statute and becomes a physical object in the room. Because the state had already been there. The Department of Child Services had already drawn a line.
Yes.
Were you the custodial parent of Wade?
Yeah.
And why were you the custodial parent of Wade?
Because she failed a piss test at the hospital.
But it wasn't just Taylor who failed a drug test. Her own infant tested positive for methamphetamine, triggering an investigation by the Indiana Department of Child Services. Taylor would tell DCS that she had used drugs throughout her previous pregnancies, and that her other
The infant was not supposed to be with her. Not alone. Not at all. She was told that, in writing. In person. With caseworkers present.
Supposed to have him at?
I could have him wherever I want, you know, but
Okay.
like she wasn't supposed to be around him.
How long has she been around him?
Since yesterday.
Since yesterday or the whole
You know,
time?
yeah, but you know,
family.
We was gonna have a family, and
Yes?
they made it so hard on her, you know.
The father was told that. The grandmother was told that. And yet, the body camera shows the baby on a stained carpet in a living room that smells of rotting food and human waste. There is no crib. There is no bassinet. There is a pack and play, but it is buried under garbage and blocked by an upright treadmill.
Records, a CPS worker recently visited the home and was shown a pack and play the infant was supposed to sleep in. However, it had been tossed into a bedroom and was filled with junk, blocked by an upright treadmill.
Well, today here's my plan for you, okay? First of all, as a mother, I'm truly sorry for you. I've lost a child myself. It's a horrible experience. Yeah, it's horrible as a mother. As a detective,
That is not
I'm getting
poverty.
ready to tell you what's
That
gonna
is a
happen,
choice.
okay?
You already get.
You're
Oh my God. That's a nice smell in the bathroom.
The home is without running water, and the only working toilet is filled with feces. Fly strips hang from the ceilings, attracting swarms of insects feeding on rotting scraps of food scattered throughout the house. In various rooms, investigators find syringes, spoons, pipes, straws, and drugs, including synthetic cannabinoids and methamphetamine. Trash litters the stained carpet floor where the 13-day-old infant was declared deceased. As questioning continues,
The paperwork knew before the police did. The search warrant reveals syringes in the bathroom.
On drugs, so.
There's needles, look like heroin, K2, all back here. There's at least 10 needles here.
I would be willing to bet you, because I didn't see Dad at first, didn't even know he was in here. He came out like 2 minutes later. I bet he grabbed and.
Yeah, this bed looks stripped too. So
Yep.
a detective is soon notified and a search warrant gets underway. Outside, Timothy and Taylor receive an update on
Spoons with residue. Straws. A toilet filled with feces. No running water. Fly strips hanging from the ceiling like dead ornaments. This is where a 13-day-old human being spent the last hours of his life. And no one in that house saw it as an emergency until the morning came, and he did not move.
Here's what we got going on, okay? He's not breathing. He doesn't have a pulse.
Oh my God.
We were supplying that for him, and we're not getting anything back, so we're going to have to call it. I'm terribly sorry.
No.
Stay calm.
No.
Stay calm.
No.
Sit down, please.
No.
Stay calm.
Please try
Stay
more.
calm.
Please, God. Please try more. Please.
What happened?
Please, God.
There's nothing else we're going to be able to do. I'm really, really sorry. I really hate
No.
to give you this news.
No. Please. No, God, no.
But exactly what happened to the infant and what ultimately caused his death remains unclear.
The paperwork
Taylor
knew before the police did. The father tells investigators he heard her screaming.
I heard her screaming, and it woke me up.
What time is that?
I don't know. She was a baby. The baby. And I woke up and I seen it.
You saw him where? Was he on Were you on him when you woke up? Okay. So was he still breathing? He wasn't breathing when you woke up.
It could have happened to anybody. I don't know why she could have been mentioned. You know, it could have been bad.
He says the word baby, like it is a foreign language. He says he woke up and saw the child. The detective asks a simple question. Were you on him when you woke up? The father says yes. That is the second turning point. Because that is not a tragic accident. That is a confession wrapped in a shrug.
The baby.
And I woke up and I seen it. You saw him where? Was he on Were you on him when you woke up? Okay. So was he still breathing? He wasn't breathing when you woke up.
It could have happened to anybody. I don't know why she could have been mentioned. You know, it could have been bad.
Well, there was no place for that baby
Now
to
here
sleep
is the
in
ticking
that house.
clock moment. Ask yourself one question. If a home has no running water, no functional toilet, and no safe place for a child to sleep, how many hours does it take before the state's failure to remove that child becomes an accessory to murder? because the court order was already in place. The caseworkers had already visited. The system had already identified the risk. And yet, the child was still there. So who was watching the clock? The paperwork knew before the police did. That is the moral refrain. Repeat it, because the mother knew. The father knew. The caseworker knew. The judge who issued the custody order knew. The hospital that flagged the positive toxicology screen knew. Every single adult in this chain had a piece of paper that said this child was in danger. And every single one of them went back to sleep.
Medical personnel
medical
and
examiner's
DCS workers had
report is
previously
public
given
record.
Taylor extensive education on safe sleep practices and explicit warnings against co-sleeping, especially while using drugs. The coroner ultimately determined the infant's cause of death to be positional or traumatic asphyxia.
It states the cause of death was asphyxiation due to unsafe sleeping conditions in the presence of methamphetamine intoxication. The mother told DCS she had used drugs throughout previous pregnancies. Her other children had already been removed. That means this was not a first failure. It was a recurrence, a pattern, a documented, time-stamped, legally recorded pattern, and the only person who faced a consequence, for it was the one who could not speak. During her interrogation, the mother laughs.
As a detective, I'm getting ready to tell you what's going to happen, okay? You're going to go to jail today for neglect of a defendant resulting in death. Okay?
No, no, no.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
No,
That's what's going to happen. You understand that you weren't supposed to be by that child, right?
Not because she thinks it is funny, because she does not understand what is happening. That is not a defense. That is an indictment. The detective tells her she is going to jail for neglect resulting in death. She says, "Oh my God. No. No." Then she asks what is going to happen. He repeats it. She laughs again. That laugh is now part of the appellate record.
Okay?
No, no, no.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
No,
That's what's going to happen. You understand that you weren't supposed to be by that child, right?
Yes.
You know that.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand why now?
Yes, I do. I do.
It's a little late for you to understand, but you do understand.
Yes, ma'am.
The father pleads guilty.
Medical personnel
20
and
years,
DCS
5 suspended. The mother goes to trial. The jury sees the photographs of the home, the syringes, the toilet, the fly strips, the stained carpet. They see the body camera footage of a mother who cannot remember what time she woke up. They see the father who cannot explain why he brought the baby to a house with no water. They come back with guilty. 30 years. 240, 2 days credited. That is the arithmetic of justice. 13 days of life. 30 years of punishment.
accepted a plea agreement in which he pled guilty to neglect of a dependent resulting in death. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, with 5 years suspended and to be served on probation. 26-year-old Taylor Smith left her fate in the hands of a jury that ultimately found her guilty of neglect of a dependent resulting in death, possession of methamphetamine, unlawful possession of a syringe, and possession of drug paraphernalia. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison, with 242 days credited for time served. Watch our full videos as they were originally made, with no randomly.
But here is the question no one asks. Why did it take a dead infant to enforce a court order that already existed? That order was not a suggestion. It was signed by a judge. It said the mother was not to be alone with the child. The father was the custodial parent. The grandmother was the backup. And yet, the father drove the child to that house. The grandmother did not stop him. The mother did not call the caseworker. The neighbors did not call the police. The landlord did not call code enforcement. Everyone had a phone. Everyone had a clock. everyone had a choice. The obituary published by the funeral home does not show a photograph of the infant.
I'm sorry, wait, I'm so sorry, baby, I'm so sorry.
Following their interviews, both Timothy and Taylor are formally placed under arrest. After living for just 13 days, baby Wade William Wilson was laid to rest following a private graveside service. In place of a photograph, the obituary published by the funeral home shows only the image of a teddy bear. According to court documents, 47-year-old Timothy Wilson accepted a plea agreement in which he pled guilty to neglect of a dependent, resulting in death. He was sentenced to...
It shows a teddy bear. That is the visual echo of this entire case. A placeholder for a person who never had a chance to be seen. A symbol for a system that treats children like objects until they become evidence. Now, here is the call to research. Go to the public court docket for the state of Indiana. Search for the case number associated with Taylor Smith. Pull the probable cause affidavit. Read the child welfare report. Then ask yourself one direct question in the comments. At what exact hour did that child become the state's responsibility instead of the mother's? I want a timestamp, not an opinion. A timestamp, because the documents show the system was already in motion. The clock was already running, and no one looked at it until the morning the child did not wake up. If this case made you feel something, sit with that. Then do something with it. Read the filings. Share this analysis. Subscribe to Police Bodycam Legal Analysis and turn on notifications. Because the next case is already on the docket. And the paperwork already knows how it ends.